Looking at the presentation you have made, we believe that recreation has a big significance in terms of creating a healthy, happy, and productive world. And today I am presenting to you a topic on recreation in a changing world, beyond fun and fitness towards healing and recovery, which I believe can be another area where WREA can go into. We all know that since the inception of recreation, it has been associated with fun, fitness, family bonding, leisure, socialization, relaxation, competition, friendship, skill development, and community spirit. These are all the underlying factors wherein recreation is founded upon. So these are in good times, I believe. And as recreation professionals and specialists, we are involved in the following: teaching of new skills on how to participate in recreation, coaching to develop potential for competition and fun, and of course leadership, as you have shown wherein WREA is very engaged in, and team building, training, and of course therapy. These are aspects of recreation provides opportunity for the society to become well-developed, healthy, and happy. But today the world is changing, and we all know that typhoon in Philippines, especially famous for a typhoon-ravaged country, tsunami in Japan, volcanic eruptions in many countries like Indonesia and also in the Philippines, earthquake, and that's a very tragic one we have in Nepal, and of course the ongoing crisis in the Middle East, and even armed conflicts in some countries like in my country. So this creates a changing landscape wherein recreation can play a very significant role. This is the result of all those natural or man-made disasters. People are displaced, deaths are being counted, people are suffering in relocation site, the need for food, shelter, and even water are becoming a prevalent problems, especially now that we can see in televisions in the Syrian problem, wherein they are going to Europe to just stay away from the war. And we all know that humanitarian interventions are provided by many organizations, the Red Cross and other countries. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my thanks and gratitude for the support you have extended to our country and our people during the Typhoon Haiyan. Thank you very much. So these are their intervention. But we should consider that beyond the intervention that is immediate is a long-term effect of disasters that recreation has a big role to play. And we know that after disaster comes the post-traumatic stress disorder that affects not only the adults but also the children especially, which is the very significant point wherein my project in the Philippines is being conducted. So we know that after disaster, people become afraid, fearful, they have isolation, they have several problems in terms of their psychological. And children especially are very vulnerable to such psychological trauma as a result of disasters. My question is, can recreation and physical activity extend beyond just giving the fun, the fitness, and fulfillment of skills development to serve as intervention for healing and recovery for people, particularly the youth affected by natural or man-made disasters? Several studies have been conducted, and in 2003, sports and play for traumatized children and youth in Iran were given sports activities in order to rebuild their psychological well-being. And they found out that sports and games provides an opportunity for pastime that will rehabilitate these subjects. Also in the case of Beslan in North Ossetia, after a terrorist attack, they examined the effect of sports and play on the healing of the people. And they found out that sports programs are an important way to resolve many of the emotions resulting from trauma. And of course, another one from the Civil War experience from Ivory Coast, the introduction of sports, football, basketball, and other sports activities help children, youth, and adult members of the community to overcome their traumatic experiences. And we all know that physical activities provide the physical, social, psychological, and moral development of the individual. And in the Philippines, after Typhoon Sendong, of which I am one of the survivors, I established Project Hope Through Sports, which means helping overcome psychosocial effects of disaster. So I developed an activity wherein I introduce it to the kids. We give them sports and play in order for them to free from the stress, the psychological trauma. And these are some of the pictures that we will be showing to you later. Project Hope Through Sports and Physical Activity as an intervention program for disaster-affected communities. So we aim to help restore social well-being. And we provide a safe, structured, and friendly environment for kids to build social cohesion, encourage community building for social support, and of course, resilience. Bouncing back from tragedy, wherein sports is a very good way of experiencing them. So this, after 5 months from the disaster, we went to the relocation site and we provided physical activities for the children. So these are the children that we have served. And because we lack equipment, the group provided recreational games and one sport, which is volleyball, the most common equipment available at that time. And 1 year after Typhoon Sindong, when they were relocated, we went again, and there was an increase in participation because from the word of mouth coming from those who participated before and they enjoyed, now more children or youth participated in the second. So we increased the activities and we have more equipment like volleyball, we have frisbee, we have fitness, we have recreational games, and of course, we have the exercises to provide them with their health and fitness needs. And 2 years after Typhoon Sindong, after I returned from Korea, when I was here, I went back and then provided them with another set of activities. This time, we have soccer, we have basketball, we have sepak takraw, volleyball, frisbee, and we did some theater and arts to express their interest in those areas. And of course, considering that the result of their suffering comes from the flooding, we asked them to participate in a tree planting activity so that they will have a sense of responsibility in caring for Mother Nature. So we did the tree planting wherein each child was given a tree to plant along the area where they are relocated. Now, the recreation and physical activity that we give is more than just giving balls and allowing children and youth to play. That means that when we give recreation, it is not only allowing them to play with a ball, it is more than teaching of skills and having fun. It is not just about winning and losing, but about the process of helping children restore their psychological and social functioning to normal levels using sport and physical activity as an intervention. It is just more than giving fun, fitness, and fulfillment to the participants, but recreation can play an effective intervention program for healing and recovery for individuals affected by disasters. While we, maybe in the recreation profession, think only of the good times, the changing world which is created by the disasters, whether it's natural or man-made, requires us to respond by providing recreation, not just for fun, but for healing and recovery. And I think that's one area where WREA can also get into, training recreation specialists to handle recreation activities for those who are suffering from trauma. So the challenges to the profession that I can see is that Recreation and physical activity as instruments, not just for fun and fitness, but also for healing and recovery. Are we prepared to provide leaders in terms of giving the healing process to those who are affected? Or are we just contented with giving fun and fitness because it's a normal state? Second, recreation and physical activity as a psychosocial intervention program to restore the normal functioning of people or youth affected by natural and man-made disasters. In the program, we conducted a study wherein we asked parents what changes happened after the typhoon. And they said that a lot of their children become aloof, become fearful, and then they become isolated. And when we conducted activities for recreation and we again interviewed them what changes had they observed after all the sports activities, they said that all their children are now enjoying, they go out, they participate, and they have fun. Which means that recreation, when given the opportunity to participate, can make changes in terms of the psychological makeup. And that means it can be used for healing and recovery. Recreation and physical activity professionals as not just providers but also caregivers. Now we are not there to teach and to provide opportunities for fun, but we are now going to work into as caregivers, attending to the psychological or social concerns of those who are affected. We are challenged as a profession to as a significant component in humanitarian services for disaster-affected area. After the Red Cross and all the NGOs had delivered the medicine, the doctors, recreation professionals should take into its task to provide intervention program because that is where we are needed. More than the medicines that we are giving is a long-term effect of the trauma that they will be experiencing. And I believe recreation will play a significant role. We need to have human resource training and development for competent and qualified recreation providers, responders to disaster-affected communities. And I think WREA has already established a strong curriculum in terms of providing leaders for fun, fitness, especially laughter. But how about in developing a curriculum that will provide quality, competent leaders to attend to the psychosocial problems of the affected? And of course, we need to have inclusion of courses and practicum on post-disaster intervention in recreation curriculum in the universities, which we are presently doing in my university. We are training our students to respond to such situation by giving them experiences on how to handle kids, on how to teach kids without being intimidating, on how to provide a safe, secure environment where kids can freely express themselves. So I think the challenges to WREA especially and to our universities in developing potential professionals is to consider that recreation is not just having fun. It is also a means of being concerned for the welfare of others. So again, I would like to ask the same questions. Can we in the recreation profession, or I will ask, can WREA provide such opportunity for responding to the changing times and the world needs us today more than ever, because every day is a normal day for those who are not suffering. But more and more people are encountering disasters, be it man-made or natural, or sufferings that are happening in the streets. Can we respond to that? And sports and recreation, based on the pictures that we have taken during the disaster, shows a lot of promise for either WREA or for us in the profession, because even in the midst of disaster, play and recreation is vital. It means kids has the chance to play even they are faced with a grim reality that their houses are gone, they have no food to eat, and they have lost their loved ones. So these are pictures that exemplifies the value of recreation, and that we in the recreation profession and WREA as an organization can make a significant impact in the world. Not just because we need to have more fun on the streets and the family, but because there are more people suffering that needs our services. And I think I am in the right place because it is an opportunity to be part of a strong organization that can make a change in the world. So, amidst the ravage of disaster and the physical and psychological scars caused by traumatic experiences, we in the recreation profession should help transform the faces of despair and hopelessness of the youth into the smiles of hope and recovery through the healing power of recreation and play activities and enable them to jump for joy. Are we ready for the challenge? Thank you very much. And